Welcome to Cunha Intermediate School's 2020 Virtual Promotion Ceremony. My name is Ben Bartel, Cunha's Assistant Principal. We are all so happy that you could join us during these unprecedented times to celebrate the accomplishments of our 8th grade class. Please join me in also giving thanks to those who helped make this video possible, including CUSD Director of Video Content Patrick Olson, Cunha Counselors Stacy Myrick, Janice Lee, and Sarah Wilhelms, as well as all of our student presenters who devoted so much time and effort into their speeches. Again, thank you for watching, and please help me welcome Cunha's principal, Mr. James Barnes.
Hello, Cunha community. I'm the principal of Cunha Intermediate, and I'll tell you, it's a strange thing to be principal of a school with no students. All of you promoting 8th graders disappeared from the campus, along with your teachers and the younger students. I walk around our school and there are huge weeds growing in the cracks. To all appearances, Cunha has been abandoned. And yet, despite this shelter-in-place shutdown, despite this virus sickening and killing hundreds of thousands in our country and around the world, despite the hardships that many of us are experiencing, you persist. You are maybe the most resilient group of students we've ever had. You've been forced to go it alone and figure out how to Zoom and use Google Classroom, follow school loop instructions, watch videos, upload pictures of your homework, etc., etc. And all that while stuck at home with your parents. Yikes. While maybe taking care of little brothers and sisters, or dealing with family members out of work, or people getting sick. What a way to finish your time at Cunha. When I came to school last Thursday, the day the 8th graders were to return textbooks and Chromebooks and get your diplomas, I saw car after car of great kids I hadn't seen in 2 months. There you were, the ones who never really went missing. We just shifted to a whole new way of doing things, and you dealt with it. Your teachers know how hard you worked to cope, as they met with you on Zoom, and your parents saw you working away at home, trying to make sense of it all. Now I'm going to make a little extended metaphor about you 8th graders and the weeds I mentioned earlier, and I don't mean that in a bad way. A plant like that is tough. It'll find the worst bit of soil and a crack in the pavement, and it will endure drought and heat, trampling and neglect, and it'll flourish. It'll break the concrete that holds it back. It does not even care. I've seen how you rolled with this crazy shutdown, adapted, matured, and grown. You've been tested by something that made you rely on your own inner strength. Your teachers weren't there, hovering over your shoulder to help and guide you. They were distant, images on a Chromebook screen or emails on School Loop. There were no bells. You had to manage your time, learn the applications, show up for the meetings, and turn in work you had to do on your own. Another important thing to know about plants is how vital the roots are. That's the secret to being tough and growing up strong in the world despite any odds. Can those roots hold on? Can they find the nourishment the plant needs to stay healthy? Parents, in the midst of this crisis, as you faced your own challenges, you provided the stability, the guidance, and the push that your students needed to keep on trying to get their education no matter the circumstances. You know how critical it is that they keep learning. You've supported them, made sure they were keeping up, checked in with teachers, as we all did our best to figure out how to make this remote teaching and learning work. Few of you parents signed up to be homeschool teachers while sheltering in place or having to go out as essential workers in the face of the pandemic, but you put your kids first and did what you had to do to give them the material and emotional nourishment they need to keep growing in mind and body no matter what. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not great. As amazing a job as all of you and our staff have done, we don't want to continue remote learning any longer than we have to. Our school is a place where we should be together. There's no substitute for the in-person connections we make and the way we all learn together, make friends, try new things, and have fun. Students, we don't know what next year will be like yet, your first year of high school. I'm pretty sure it won't be back to normal, but I do know this, you will crush it. What 8th grade Cunha class before you has had to complete the year by yourselves alone? You've had some serious growing up to do, and you did. You will enter high school wiser and more self-reliant than the kids who came before you. You'll be all, I got this. Here on the coast side, in yards and on the side of the road, there are spiky little weeds that don't look like much. Give them time and they get to be 10 feet tall and covered with 1,000 purple flowers. Tower of Jewels, they call them. Amazing. That's what I think of you. You're our jewels, diamonds in the rough. Go out and shine.
Hello, my name is Jaya Miller, and although I'm disappointed that I cannot give this speech in person, I'm honored to be able to give one at all. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch it. My 3 years at Cunha have been a roller coaster of emotions. It would be an understatement to say that they have been exciting, and I think many of my classmates would agree. I guess 6th grade wasn't too far off from what one would call a normal school year. However, being 11 years old, going from a school with only 300 kids to almost 750 kids was a big jump. But 7th grade was when things really started getting crazy. To start with, we had 3 principals that year. That was also the year we had to be evacuated because of a potential bomb threat, and we missed several days of school due to smoke and power outages because of California's devastating fire season. And we all know how crazy this year has been. Started with multiple day-long power outages and all the way up to COVID-19, it's been a very life-changing year. But despite all the craziness, my 3 complete revolutions around the sun at Cunha, shout out to Mr. Murray, have also been some of the best of my life. To be honest, I think all the things that have happened added to my experience. They made each day something new and gave it character. I mean, you can't have fun on a roller coaster unless it goes up and down. Out of the 3 years, my 8th grade year has definitely been the most memorable, and not just because of all the things going on in the world. I feel so lucky to be able to go to a school with such an amazing leadership program, and although he won't admit it, I would like to shout out to Mr. Cox for making it that way. Leadership, and especially having the opportunity to be on the student council with 4 other amazing girls, is something that I'll remember and cherish forever. I know the class of 2019-2020 may not have the best reputation, but I personally have seen us grow throughout the years, and I have faith that we will continue to keep growing, bringing our enthusiastic spirit with us. One thing that my middle school years have taught me is the importance of adaptation. Life is not a smooth ride. Things are going to happen, both good and bad. And the important thing is that you learn to go with it. For example, those of you who have been on the Big Dipper roller coaster at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk know that it is a much more enjoyable ride if you move with the coaster. However, if you lean too far into it, you risk falling out. I feel that life is the same way. As this past year has shown us, things could change in a heartbeat, and you have to be ready to accept that change and move on. However, you also must be careful not to let that change you too much, or you risk letting it consume you. Lastly, I know that many of you may be feeling like your roller coaster has been going downhill for a while, so I would like to take a moment to recognize all the things that we have to be thankful for. First of all, I'm very thankful for all the time I got to spend at Cunha, even though it was cut short. There are many children all over the world who would do anything to get to spend even a day at school. Next, I am very thankful for everybody who made my experience so positive. Thank you to all the teachers, staff members, and students who helped create such an optimistic vibe. I would not be standing here today if it weren't for you. And finally, I'm thankful for everyone who has and is coming together to help one another. Life is tough, but we can get through it one step at a time. So, my fellow 8th graders, all I ask of you tonight is that as you step into your future, however uncertain it may seem, do it with a smile on your face, a gleam in your eye, and a willingness to sit back and enjoy the ride.
Now I'd like to present some important awards for the 2019-20 school year. First is our Community Volunteer of the Year Award, which I'd like to present to our Cunha Athletic Boosters President, John Holm. Congratulations. Thank you for all your work. And we have 3 students who received the Citizenship Award for this year, 3 8th graders, and they are Jaya Miller, Catalina Gonzalez Johnson, and Aiden Vasquez. Congratulations, all 3 of you.
Hello, class of 2020. Thinking a lot about you lately and how much you've changed since you were baby little 6th graders. Imagine the 3 years that we've gone through, teaching in portables, classrooms that the lights don't work or the heat doesn't work, having teachers come in the middle of the year, teaching and learning during fires when we can't go outside, without electricity, and now with COVID-19. And you guys have managed to move through this fairly elegantly. After this, you are ready for anything. My only major complaint is that you really never stepped it up on dodgeball. So come back next year and let's have another go.
My most memorable moment at Cunha was the day of the first dance when Miss Wilk taught us how to do our signature dance moves like shovel and the shopping cart. And a thank you to Mr. Cox for running such a great leadership program, and thank you to all my other great teachers.
We want to congratulate our students today for their accomplishments as they promote to the next step in their academic journeys, knowing as we do that this is the end of one chapter in their lives and the beginning of an important new phase ahead. We also want to thank the families and staff who have helped our students get to this big day in their lives. None of this would be possible without your support of these fine young people. To our students, this is a time of great challenge for us as a state, a nation, and a world. There will be many changes ahead for all of us. That said, we want you to know that we're very proud of you as you promote to higher grades, and we know you are going to go on to do great things ahead, regardless of the way that things are now. You are our hope for a future yet to be seen, and you need to know your family and your community will always be here to support you along the way forward. Congratulations.